Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well after lunch and what I hear is very heavy traffic in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm here today to share with you a little bit about a new era for cross-border nation. But before we get started, I really would like to thank the Department of Trade for inviting Google to be a part of this event. To share with you a little bit of our insights about the opportunity that you have in the export market. A little bit about myself. I'm from Google. I lead the customer onboarding teams across several different Asian markets. Here's a quick photo of me enjoying some Vietnamese food with my team last night. They insisted that I try some of the local beer, which I really enjoyed as well. But before we get started, I do want to preempt you in terms of what are the key messages that we'd like to learn today. The first is really to highlight that this is the golden time for Ho Chi Minh City brands to capture the world stage. The second is to highlight some of the brands that have been there before you and have already done so. And the third is really to highlight how Google can help you do all of this process itself. So before we dive in, I would just like to share a little bit of background, a quick story about myself. Prior to moving back to Singapore a year and a half ago, I actually spent 10 years in the United States. And in my 10 years in the United States, I had moved across 5 different homes. And I also had 2 kids in the United States. I was a working parent and I was quite busy. And so a lot of my purchases for my homes, when it comes to furnishing, were all purchased through Amazon and Wayfair. A lot of my kids' diapers were also bought through Amazon. Their clothes were bought through stores like Target, were bought online through stores that were online as well. And what I'm really trying to highlight is so much of the economy right now is actually driven by e-commerce. And consumers like myself, we do not care where e-commerce comes from. We do not care where the products are made. We do not care if the products are being shipped directly from warehouses. Sorry, technical errors. Okay, so this is where I would like to bring all your attention to, right? E-commerce as an economy has continued to grow year on year on year. And this growth, all driven by Greater China, all driven by Americas, is not only coming from those regions. If you look at the top of this right-hand chart, you'll see that Southeast Asia is in fact one of the fastest growing regions when it comes to e-commerce growth. And when it comes to e-commerce growth, it does not matter where e-commerce is coming from. In fact, 1/3 of the e-commerce that happens in America right now, specifically the US, is cross-border. And this is on the low end of it. If you look across some of the Asia-Pacific markets, you see that so much more of the commerce that is actually being driven is cross-border commerce. Furthermore, a lot of the cross-border commerce that you're actually seeing are coming from young and digital-savvy purchases. If you look at the left-hand side of the page, you'll see that between 2021 and 2022, the share of millennials who are shopping online has actually increased rapidly. And this is a young generation that is super digitally savvy, and also very conscious of what value actually looks like. The reason why they actually make cross-border purchases, or where do they actually research their cross-border purchases, it's because price is actually more affordable. It's because they are offered a broader set of products, and it's because the quality is actually better than what you can actually receive in the domestic markets. Vietnam is primed for this opportunity. And the reason why that is because when it comes to ASEAN exports to the rest of the world, Vietnam is actually the second largest market after Singapore. And when it comes to imports that are going to the US, Vietnam is right up there with some of the big economies like Japan, like Germany. Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City brands are also primed for this because so much of what Vietnam is great at when it comes to exports completely aligns with the opportunity that is there for completely aligns with some of the biggest verticals that we see in the e-commerce space in the US. Just taking a couple of examples here. Apparel and accessories, if you can't see it right at the top here, is one of the big areas that Vietnam exporters are great at. Subsequently, we also see furniture and home furnishings and health and personal care sitting within the top 4 areas. And these are all verticals that Vietnam businesses, Ho Chi Minh businesses are very, very good at. So, quickly recapping this section here, we truly believe here at Google that now is the golden time for Ho Chi Minh City brands to start building resilience and start exporting and conquering the world stage. We do see that international trade, cross-border international trade is expected to grow at 15% year on year over the next 5 years. We do see that new customers are available for you out there, with physical goods and digital services on international shopping expected to surpass $120 billion next year. 1.1 trillion next year. And also to future-proof your businesses, you do want to move out from beyond the domestic market, and international trade allows you to actually do so. How can Ho Chi Minh City brands do so? And there are 3 ways that we would like to sort of provide a primer on how you could actually get there. The first is really to think about the different channels that you have when it comes to exporting. It's not just marketplaces like Amazon that are effective ways for you to reach your customers abroad. You can set up direct-to-consumer platforms as a way for you to reach your customers beyond marketplaces. And even when it comes to marketplaces, there are also nuances in terms of what marketplaces look like. There are huge marketplaces like Amazon that do everything, and there are also more segmented marketplaces when it comes to certain verticals. Could be furniture, could be fashion and apparel. The second key pillar that you can think about as you consider exporting is digital marketing. There are many US buyers who actually go onto social media platforms, who actually go onto online search to research the next purchase that they're going to purchase online. And Google is well positioned to provide you support on all those fronts through the platforms that we have, which I'll talk more about in just a little bit. And the last piece here is the available support system that different agencies in Vietnam are able to support you on. And then it cuts across all the different pieces that are required for your business to be successful exporter. That's international logistics, that's global payments, that's digitization as well as localization. And last piece there is sales and support in a foreign country as well. Just to provide a quick highlight of some brands and businesses who have made forays into international and have been successful at doing so. They look like local brands who have done so. They're just B2B manufacturers, they're SMBs, and all over these different types of businesses, we have seen success in this as well. The first customer I would like to highlight is Abera. Abera is a beauty product, a beauty company that was based out here in Ho Chi Minh City. It was initially first built for Vietnam markets, so domestic only, before they started expanding to Southeast Asia, and then subsequently to the US as well. If you do a quick Google search of Abera, you actually find that they have a direct US website that ships directly to US sellers. And it is not clear at all that they are a Vietnam brand, that they are a Ho Chi Minh City brand. They are just a US company selling to US consumers. In the first year in the US, they actually managed to drive a 7-figure revenue, which is pretty impressive. The second example I want to share with you here is Yes for All. Yes for All coincidentally happens to be a company that provides all the gym equipment that we have in the Singapore floor office, so it's near and dear to our heart. They opened here in the Ho Chi Minh City office in 2013 and are focused on selling gym equipment, personal fitness equipment. They expanded their brand worldwide, now selling on Amazon, not just in the US, but also in Japan, also in Canada, and they have greater ambitions to expand that to all of the EU as well. And the last example I will provide is one that might be closer to heart for all of us, which is the fashion industry in Ho Chi Minh City. I believe the picture on the top left here is actually that of Lisa of Blackpink. How many of you here actually know Blackpink? Many blinks around? No, not that many. So Lisa apparently was here in Ho Chi Minh City shopping some local brands, and all across the board, great runways, you see Ho Chi Minh City-based fashion brands actually being created by some of Hollywood stars. On the bottom right here, you also do see Ho Chi Minh City fashion trending as a hashtag, I believe, in Bangkok, where it's notched over 60 million views at this point in time. So real quick summary here, there are multiple Ho Chi Minh City brands who have made it to the international stage. How they have done so, I will walk you through it a little bit in terms of how Google can actually help you get there. First piece here, if you're a little bit overwhelmed by this slide, let me just quickly take you through it. These are all the different services that you need to get in place for your business to successfully export. It's a lot, I'm not going to read all of it. But what I will say is Google has specialist teams across all of these different areas who are well positioned to help you in making that transition from a domestic-based business to an international-based business. The second place that Google can help is in terms of the sheer reach that you have to different audiences all across the globe. On this slide here are some icons that you're probably very familiar with. Things like YouTube, things like Gmail, things like search. A quick question to the group here. Do you know what these different platforms have in common? And the Googlers in this room here are not allowed to answer that question. Anyone? These are all platforms that have over 1 billion users each. 1 billion users, right? So think about the markets that you want to reach. Google has solutions that can help you all across and help you reach the customers in those markets that you're looking to go with. Our teams that are sitting here today, we have teams in the audience, are experienced at helping businesses like yourself move from a domestic focus to an international focus. As a matter of fact, we have supported over 1,300 customers, many of whom are actually based here in ASEAN, and many of whom are based here in Vietnam as well. So I would encourage all of you during the break later to reach out to my teammates. Many of them are sitting here in the audience wearing Google t-shirts. If you want to learn more about how we can support you, we also do have agency partners here in the room who can help you with many pieces of scaling outside of domestic areas as well. So please do interact with them. Please do learn more. And with that, I am very excited to embrace Ho Chi Minh City as the next big market that will be making it into the international stage. Thank you so much.